Hi, welcome to my backyard. My name is Koosje Koene and I love drawing, and I want to welcome you to Draw Tip Tuesday. And today I am drawing in the backyard. For me, it's quite new to see all that green pop up. In May, it just has exploded and it doesn't stop. And I am loving being surrounded by greens. So today I want to draw greens, but I'm not actually using green. I am actually using just two simple tools, and it will be really interesting to see how you can still capture greens with those. I think it's really helpful to know that you don't need many tools, so that if you go on location, you just can bring the minimal. That's basically all I want to say before we dive in. Just have some fun with pen, pencil, and paper. I am using a Lamy Safari pen with a B nib. I use platinum black carbon ink in it, which is waterproof, but that doesn't matter for today's drawing. And I am drawing in a Stillman & Byrne Beta Series sketchbook. I'm starting with drawing a leaf from the fig plant that is right in front of me. It's on the table and I love the shape of the fig leaves, so it only makes sense to just start right away with that. I'm putting it right in the center of my page and I am following the outline of the leaf. I'm not being too accurate, but accurate enough to understand what kind of leaf it is. Now that I have this first leaf down, I'm looking at other leaves and there's overlap, there's negative spaces. So I'm really taking my time and kind of drawing in a single line, in a continuous line, to help me move on and not be too precious and not too detailed. And so I work my way around some of the leaves of this plant. I don't have to draw all of it, as long as it sort of captures what is in front of me. And maybe I just stop whenever I feel I have enough of a description. But for now, it is very calming and it's very meditative, so I keep going. I take it leaf by leaf in this case. And guess what? I need to refill my pen because I forgot to fill it before starting the drawing. So I'll quickly do that with my black carbon ink from the brand Platinum. There we go, cleaning it. All done. And we can move on. Right, where was I? Now that I have a good flow of ink again in my pen, it feels so much better. So I am just moving on and keep going with the leaves that are overlapping. And I'm not thinking about everything else around in this garden because I am going to capture this garden, but for now, the fig leaves are everything. I'm not thinking about whatever else is going on in this garden. It's really all about the fig leaves for now. And you know, if you don't have that much time and you planned to draw all of it, like foreground and background, and you have to walk away, then still you would end up with a drawing of really wonderful leaves. So even if you don't finish it, the continuous line and the shapes of the leaves already are really wonderful. So don't worry if you don't have enough time or if you have to stop drawing because you're called away or whatever. An unfinished drawing is also a drawing. And you can also later come back and finish it. Anyway, I am done with my fig, and so I am picking up my other tool, which is a graphite pencil. This is an HB graphite pencil. It's a little bit chunky and I like it. And I am holding it not too close to the tip so that I don't have too much control and I don't tense up. And because the pencil is gray, immediately you are creating a sense of depth because everything that is in the background is gray and everything that is in the foreground has this bold, dark, contrasty black line. I love sitting here in my backyard because there's birds flying on and off and they're sitting on the wires of our lamps, and I just absolutely love it. So drawing here is a real treat, and I am really enjoying capturing like the essence. So the foliage in the background, I'm not drawing it the way I drew the foreground, because in the foreground I could really see all the different leaves of the fig plant. But in the background there's like a whole lot of leaves going on and a whole lot of bushes going on. So I'm generally trying to find ways to describe the different leaves in the background. And you will find patterns. In nature, you will find all sorts of patterns. So the way leaves are growing off their branches, the way there are flowers in the middle of branches or maybe at the end. This is all kind of studying and then trying to simplify it, abbreviate it, and then put it on paper. So these ferns, for example, I'm just sort of zigzagging lines for them, and I think I describe a fern pretty okay with that. Also, what is very important when you draw foliage is that you add dark, because there's a lot of shadow, especially if there's like bushes or shrubbery, it is like dense. There's a lot of leaves, but you don't need to draw all the leaves. You can also draw the shadows between the leaves. You can also change the size of the leaves that you draw, and that will also help to give you a sense of depth. So the larger leaves might feel closer to you and the smaller ones more to the back. You can also add darker lines or lighter lines when you are using graphite. That's all really beneficial of the material of a graphite pencil. I'm moving on to the next plant that is on the right hand side, and I see parts of the fencing or whatever it's called. And so I keep moving on and adding more and more to this drawing, and I think that if I would stop now, I would be pretty happy with this drawing. But I am adding more darks, more contrast. That is really going to make a whole lot of difference in a drawing. If you are drawing and you are not sure what to do next, or you're not sure what is missing, very often it's contrast. So add darks and you will see a huge difference happening in your composition, in the balance of your drawing, and in the whole vibe of your drawing. I'm adding some of the clouds, not sure if that's a good idea, but I'm doing it anyway. And do I need something on the left? I think I do, because there's this white space that just screams to be filled. I'm adding more of that foliage, and that bird that I drew looks a little bit rough, so I'm adding just a bit more detail to it and a little more contrast in the foreground as well, to make the leaves of the fig plant stand out even more. And then I am done. Well, that was quite the adventure. I didn't know exactly where it would go when I started this, and I'm quite happy with the result. I hope that you will try this too. I'm pretty sure that you will have a black pen and a simple pencil, so you can totally do this. You don't need to draw greens for this. You can also draw anything. Just think about what is in the front, what is in the back, and use your tools for that as well. And of course, if you like this channel, if you like my Draw Tip Tuesday videos, then please subscribe to this channel. And of course, you can also join me on Patreon. I would love that, because there's quite a cool community going on there. And yeah, I'd love to have you in my club. There's workshops that I teach this year and next year, and I would love to see you in person or online on one of my mini workshops that I do monthly live on Zoom. Links to all of that is below this video in the description. And of course, one more thing, buy my book. If you don't have it yet, you don't know what you're missing, and I will tell you, you won't regret buying it, because it's full of good stuff and full of encouragement, and motivation and inspiration for your drawing practice. Now, go and draw. Have fun. I will see you next week. Bye.